this is the long ramble mode. Essentially, I do believe that it eventually my stuff would find a way into the wider world, right? And and man, I really want to tweak effects on this video. It's like whatever. Um, so once again, it's a decision. Do and and one viewpoint would be just saying, okay, I can just do both, right? I can just focus on my stuff and focus on stuff, other people's stuff or whatever, but in the end, I think my mind, I feel like I'm kind of like a train. I'm meaning that if I'm on some track, I'm unless I keep on moving, within the bounds of the tracks, I'm gonna go off rails. I don't know if it makes sense. It probably does. So besides being a Zen master, I'm also a human. It was a joke, obviously, but um, you know, I know that the morally right, so to speak, decision would be taking the gig. Oh, I don't want to offend my friends. Oh, I'm kind of, whatever. But it seems to me that the thing that I would like more is focusing on my craft. And this is really, it's quite often, really the choice, it seems to me, the choice between kind of like sociability and productivity. It's probably not a healthy way to approach it. According to the, I don't know, experts or whatever, but it just it seems to work for me. I think I thrive in in that kind of situations. Where it's and not to base this stuff too much on history or past, but it's instinctively I've always gravitated towards this choice, being the choice of essentially choosing the craft over the social aspect of it. And it's there's probably perhaps there's no really a dichotomy there, in lives of other people, but in my life I do find it. And by choosing the craft, or the essentially my music, I think I'm underlining, that I'm dedicated to it. And I find it very important. Actually, I really find dedication important. I think it's, in fact, it seems to be the most. It seems to be a very important factor. Whether you actually can become naturally skilled, like whether the act of creating, for instance, becomes integrated within your being. Because you can live your life just walking around and doing this, doing that, and whatever. But I find it that it's crucially important to create, make make your work, your what you do, to make it part of your essence. I think it's very important for me. As always, once again, whatever I say, it's my subjective opinion. You don't, please don't model your life based on this. If you, for whatever reason, would want to do that, I don't recommend it. Uh, Jing, 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 jing. Right, that kind of stuff, you know. It really frees the mind, you know, of the linguistic bounds, you know, limits, right? Because language does limit thought, you know. And for instance, how can you come, if you're really language focused, how can you possibly come up with a original, or how can you come up with something abstract if you that you can't describe, you know, if you're totally language focused, you know, you can't. And that's why you need to, you know, that abstract kind of stuff is just crucially important, right? And it also goes together with the teaching of Zen, you know, right? So it's at least as I interpret it, you know, perhaps you could say, oh no, your interpretation is wrong, but you know, there really isn't right way to do stuff, wrong way to do stuff. You know, all you have is this moment, right? And you know, whenever you kind of like worried about, oh, I'm kind of, you're just stealing from yourself, you know. You're moving away from the core or whatever, you know. What Taoists would not want to call, you know, the core or whatever. So, with this in mind, I present you with a short piece I composed 7 years ago. It goes something like this. Turi ea uldi. Tui ea Turdle ea vong 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 ching đỏ hay hành lùm. In fact, I, you know, I would advise myself to actually finally do it in a professional manner, which would, I think it's very important. Oh shit! Oh no! You know what I did? I actually I managed to over record. Qingdao löven. Kidogulle ja Kidogulla المخطرة كان دين سكنا مري تارو بداية كل ما يقول رست مري فشاز قرا ما تلقى cheers you know. And with that being said, I wish you all happy holidays and have the best time of your life.